The latest movie news and reviews to see or not to see.
Checking out now one of the least popular films in 2011, Green Lantern. Apart from Batman, DC haven't had the best luck in transferring their comic book characters from the pages to the silver screen. I was really hoping that Green Lantern was going to break that trend, but unfortunately no. Superhero films have become quite mainstream over the past few years and have been taken in a far more serious direction, which audiences seem to be really enjoying. Green Lantern tries so very hard to be a serious film, but when you're working on the premise of wearing a magical ring that allows you to create things you think out of energy, the reality is really hard to come by. That being said, the cast do try and bring their best to such a weak plot. Ryan Reynolds is great as the cocky test pilot Hal Jordan, and Peter Sarsgaard is enjoyable as the slowly going insane Hector Hammond. The standout, however, is Mark Strong as Sinestro, Hal Jordan's mentor and apparent leader of the Green Lanterns. Even though he looks like a bit of a sunburnt elf, he has a great on-screen presence and is one of the characters that I really look forward to seeing being developed in the film's inevitable sequels. The biggest issue in Green Lantern is the CGI. For a film that was obviously going to rely on computer animation so much, it really feels as if it's been the last sword on the filmmakers' minds. The decision to go with a CG suit was a game one, and it really doesn't pay off. The idea was for it to look organic, but it just looks cheap. I kind of thought they may have learnt from the disaster that was Galactus in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, but apparently not for the villain. Parallax is very similarly portrayed to Galactus, almost looking like a giant cloud, and he really doesn't come across as menacing as he should. There really could have been a lot more character development as well. Characters like Kilowog are just brushed over with very little backstory or anything. Obviously, not every character can have 10 minutes of an origin story. It would have been nice to learn a bit more about the important characters from the Green Lantern universe. The inclusion of Angela Bassett as Amanda Waller was a great idea in theory, but it's not really explained why she's there. This was DC's chance of setting up a cinematic universe like Marvel has done so successfully, and Waller could have been utilised much like Agent Coulson in Marvel's films, but instead she comes off as just some random scientist, which was really disappointing. I had such high hopes for this, and I thought it really could have been DC's answer to Iron Man, but alas, no. Reynolds does his best in bringing a character to the screen who's both believable and likeable, but there's just too many issues with this film for it to be really enjoyable. Hopefully, if a sequel does get the green light, sorry, I couldn't help myself, they'll be working on bringing a bit more depth to the characters and also spend a bit more than 10 minutes on the CGI. Green Lantern is available on DVD and Blu-ray now, and I'm giving it a 2 out of 5.
Check out more movie reviews online right now to seeornottosee.net.